Hey everybody, today we're going to check out a really cool ration that I've not had before. This one's a Latvian single meal ration. It's a menu number 2. And I really don't know much about Latvia, didn't really do much research other than to know it's a Eastern European country. But you know, just a country I've not tried yet. So if y'all want to cheat and look at the ingredients, this is a NATO country, so everything is in English of course as well. And we're just gonna pretty much tear it open. It's a plastic bag, kind of similar to probably a lawn and garden bag, garbage bag thickness. There's no tear notches that I can see, or you know, a pull open pouch like you would have in an MRE. So we're going to use our Moore knife, and we'll cut it open and check it out and see what's inside. This, by the way, was brought to me by Nr2 at RATIONSandMoRe. So if y'all are looking for Latvian, he's the guy that's got them. So let's just pull everything out and we'll take a look at it. Okay, that's everything in the bag. So we have right off the top, we have a stove with some matches and heating tabs. These folding stoves are actually really good to have out in the field. I have probably a dozen of them from different rations. Here we have our main course, which looks kind of scary here with, it's got a little bit of grease on the label. I don't think the can itself is leaking, but it is dented. And I think this is meat with pasta. Here we have something I've really been wanting to try, which is a couple of slices of rye bread. And I guess this shows the expiration date of the 3rd of November, 2018. Take a look. But this rye bread, like I said, it's actually like 2 slices of actual bread in there, which is pretty neat. And here's what the sticky thing was. That's too bad. It's our blackcurrant jam, and I do love blackcurrant jam. But now I know anything that's in here that's sticky, we know where that came from. So that's really a shame. Here we have plum jam, and that seems to be held up pretty well. We have our nuts and raisins, which is cashews and raisins. It's a 50-gram pack. We have our drinks that definitely have the blackcurrant stuck on them. This says Bon Bonita Mint, so this says it's a product of origin from Lithuania, and I can feel chunks in there. So I'm not. Oh, this is candy. Actually, these are mint candies. I'm sorry. Guess I should have paid more attention. This is going to be our rice dish, which shows that you would mix it with 100 mils of hot water, let it sit for 8 minutes, stir it up, and so we'll try that in a minute. Then we have our brew kit. The one thing that I did find neat about these Latvian rations is that they have a lot of coffee in them compared to other rations that usually only have, for one meal, they only have 1 coffee. This one has 4, which my wife said would be perfect for me because I drink a lot of coffee. So 4 Nescafes. We have a refreshing lemon towelette, moist towelette. We have a pack of Forest Fruits tea by Lipton. Then we have 2 packs of 20-gram packs of sugar. And we also have, let me see, 1 long stick of Power Gum Spearmint, which Spearmint's my favorite. So all together, we have our meat with pasta, we have our rye bread. Unfortunately, our blackcurrant jam is destroyed. 2 packs of sugar, our plum jam, 4 coffees, tea, moist towelette, our rice porridge, and our mint candy. And then, of course, we have our spoon, which is pretty flexible spoon. So what I'm going to use for this, actually, I'm going to break into my actual field mess kit, and we're going to actually heat up our beef and porridge with our dime stove, and I'll explain that in a minute. We use our canteen cup for our porridge. And another thing from Drew was our West German. I say West Germany because it's 1981, so there was still a West Germany at the time. We'll use our West German knife, fork, and spoon to eat with. And we'll, of course, set our stove up with our fuel. So really quick, let's get the stove out. Now I call this my dime stove because Sticky Fingers 745 has one similar that screws to the top of his fuel canister that he calls a penny stove. Well, this one's 10 times better, I think, so we're going to call it a dime stove, which is just kind of a little inside joke with us, but we'll fold it out. And these, I got this on eBay for about, I think, $13. So it's cheap, and it seems sturdy enough to do the job. So we'll go ahead and get this ready. All right, we're going to take our meat. Actually, we're going to heat some water first for a cup of coffee. So with that being said, we're going to use our Chinese stove. Oops, let's get that actually into frame here. Use our Chinese stove with our Latvian ration, our West German cutlery, our US canteen cup, and our East German canteen. So I'm just trying to go international with this and just see how far I can get with it. So let's go ahead and add some water. Throw that on the stove to heat. All right. Okay, sorry, had to move everything around a little bit here. So we've got our water getting ready to boil. As soon as that does, we'll mix up our coffee. Then we'll put our meat with pasta on. Let it cook for a minute. Let's go ahead and get our silverware ready. I love this setup. By the way, and I think Drew, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he has these for sale. I know he had some added in part of his eBay sales, which on there he goes by a couple of different, he has a couple of different stores. He has his old one, which was called G Balls. That's GBALLZ, as well as, like I said, RATIONSandMoRe at gmail.com. Check him out there if you have any questions or rations you're looking for. Definitely hit him up and he can help you out. So let's go ahead and while we're waiting on the water to boil before we get our meat in, we'll check out our bread. This is one of the things, like I said, that fascinates me, is this shelf-stable rye bread. And I want to see if I can get better than everybody else who has... All right, let's be honest. Who actually saw that happening before it did? Naturally, you're going to, I guess, spill a few things now and then, but it's cool. We've got everything set back up. And in case you didn't see it, yeah, totally spilled that everywhere. So let's get back on track now. We've got our bread out and got it separated. It's pretty thick, dense feeling bread. And I actually want to taste a piece of this on its own before I go any further with the review. Let's go ahead and just break off a corner. Yeah, that is definitely a delicious piece of rye bread. I've got to say, that is fantastic. It's dense, like I think it should be, and the flavor is amazing. It just tastes fresh. So we've got our water almost boiling. Let's go ahead and we're going to open up our nuts. All right, let's open up our nuts, check it out. And I guess we should have got a plate out that we can put all this in. So what I'm going to use is actually our US mess tin, because why not? We've got 5 other countries represented. Might as well represent the US a little bit here. So let's put our nuts and raisins right there. Put our bread right here. Okay, our water's boiling. Let's take that off. And we'll make up our coffee. Give that a little pour. All right. Set this off to the side. And by the way, I love surplus from all these different European countries in US. It's just really cool to see a lot of it. We're gonna go ahead and try to make up our heat up some water. Let's see how much we need. We need 100 mils. So we'll add a little bit more water here. We'll get that back on the stove and get that heated up. Next we're going to be cooking up our beef with pasta. We'll get that opened up a little bit and take a look at it. You see a lot of fat in there. Smells fantastic. Smells kind of like a beef stew. So we'll just set this here, and as soon as the water's heated for the rice, we're going to go ahead and just open this up. There we go. And we'll just dump that in. And wait for our water to heat. We'll just dump it in and set it. Actually, we'll move the nuts over here. Put the bread down. We can cover it with the rest of our mess tin to heat up. All right, our water's boiling, so we're going to add our 100 mils of water to our rice porridge. And actually, we're not going to be able to get all of it in there, but mix that up a little bit. All right, we're going to let that absorb water. We'll set this part of the mess tin on top, and we will cook up our beef. Hopefully I can do this without burning the house down. It's already sizzling. All right, so we've got our meat heated up, our meat and pasta. Let's go ahead and dump this, and that is hot. Okay. You can see there's a lot of just chunks of beef. Got elbow macaroni in there. And let's check on our rice to see if it's fully rehydrated, or our porridge rather. It looks as though it is. All right, so here we have our full meal. We have our cup of coffee. Oops. We have our coffee. our nuts, our bread, our beef and pasta, and our plum jam. Now, of course, we didn't get to keep our other jam, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. So let's go ahead and we're going to try the jam on a little piece of the bread. Give that a taste. It's pretty smooth. That's an excellent jam. It's quite sweet. Goes well, believe it or not, with the rye bread. I'm still just amazed at this bread. It's delicious. The Latvians definitely know what they're doing there. Let's go ahead and check out our rice, or our porridge, with I believe it's supposed to be peppers in it. You can see little red flakes that are peppers, maybe some parsley in there. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, that is super delicious. Those are little red pepper flakes. They don't add heat, but they add just a mound of flavor. That is just super tasty. Rehydrated nicely. All right, next let's check out our beef with our pasta. You can tell that it's looks like a piece of pot roast in there, and then it has elbow macaroni, maybe a little bit of carrot. Let's see how that tastes. Oh wow! There's no need for a salt or pepper. This is seasoned just magnificent. The meat is tender. It's not processed tasting. It's actually strings of meat. The pasta is perfect. This is absolutely a delicious meal. The carrots in it just add so much flavor. Try that on a little piece of bread. That is just a magnificent meal. I've got to get more of these. So Drew, if you're watching, I'm going to have to get more of these from you. This is actually a 100% amazing meal. Let's check out the cashews and raisins. They look like golden raisins. There's obviously no salt on the cashews. Both still delicious. And of course you can hear Oscar, the never been fed dachshund. Nothing new there. Yeah, the nuts, they're just kind of plain cashews. The coffee, which is just the Nescafe, it's pretty standard and interesting to find in the Latvian. Yeah, it's just your basic cup of coffee, so I'm not really going to say too much on it. Let's check out our Bon Bonita mints and see what these look like. Okay, so we have, what is this, 2, 4, 6, 7 mints, spearmints. Let's give them a try. Just a hard candy. Well, that's not spearmint, that's just a mint in general. Almost like a cough drop. Pretty tasty though. These would be great if you were walking around, on a march or something like that. You could pop one in your mouth in between meals, get a little bit of sugar rush. Overall, the only thing I'm not trying is the forest fruits tea. No real need for that. And of course the sugar, I don't really want the sugar. That's a lot to open. So I would say everything in this ration is absolutely fantastic, and I'm really shocked or sad that I had not tried one of these earlier. The beef with pasta, delicious. The porridge with the peppers, fantastic. Nuts and raisins, good. Bread, can't say enough good about it. The jam, plum jam, absolutely delicious. Coffee, it's coffee. We also have a piece of power gum. I'll save that for after I'm done with the meal. And the refreshing towel. You know, I don't check these out, but let's see how nice this one is. Definitely damp. Has a nice lemony smell to it. We can get it on. You know what? We're not going to worry about unrolling it, I guess. So we'll just use it. It's got a good clean feel to it. And nice lemony smell. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I said, this was a Latvian ration. Check out Drew at MREsandMoRe at Gmail. Kind of hit him up, see if you can get one of these yourself or see what else he's got in stock. He's definitely worth it. He's helped me out considerably. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next review.